Hi, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here and allowing me to follow my dreams. Today, I have a story time for you guys that I wanted to document because it's probably my favorite story of playing with the people that I've been playing with in Seattle ever, and I'm actually moving to Massachusetts, so I will not be playing with these people anymore, and I really want to document it. But first, before the documentation, I have an announcement. I'm super duper excited to say that I am finally going to be playing on Oops Only. Oops Only is a podcast slash live stream let's play that my friend Christian, aka Dragon Teacup, has been doing for a while now, where essentially what happens is it's Oops Only bards, Oops Only barbarians, Oops Only villagers. So the concept is that it's an entire team of a one class instead of being like fully fleshed out all of these different classes and totally min-maxed. It's just one class. It's just one class or one like one person, and it is entirely that. And so it's the chaos that comes from not mid-maxing your table and having a healer and all that kind of stuff. Although he does plan for this kind of stuff. So I am finally joining Oops Only. I've done a couple of things with Christian. I've done Call Cthulhu with Christian. I've also done Daggerheart with Christian. But I am finally doing Oops Only with Christian and joining the Oops Only family. And I am so excited to say I'm playing a wizard. I've never played a wizard before in my life. I'm not even kidding. I've actually never played a full caster before, but I've never played a wizard. I've had wizards at my table. The spell's slow, screws me over, but I've never played a wizard before. So I'm super duper excited. We are actually going to be level 17, which is kind of crazy, right? We're going to be really high level, and I have 9th level spells. I do have 9th level spells. So super duper excited for that. However, we're gonna be Oops Only all wizards taking on something for the president. I'm not 100% sure what's going on. This world is a mixture of like the 1950s America and also like steampunk and also like fantasy. So it's a very retro kind of feel, or new age kind of feel. It's very new age. It's not retro at all. It's very new age. And so I'm very excited to get to explore this world. I am playing Ferris Moonstone. She is the head of House Gavel at the most prestigious wizarding school that exists in the largest city that exists on this continent. So she is an astral elf. She's very hoity-toity and posh, but has a heart of gold and has a big love for potential, and that is like a huge thing about her person, is that she loves potential and she loves bringing people up into the world. She is a transmutation wizard, so you bet your butt I took True Polymorph. Are you kidding me? That was definitely my 9th level. Actually, my 9th level spells are the True Polymorph and then the one where you can polymorph yourself into something CR 17 or lower. And my thought with that was that we're not going to have a tank. Like, we're all going to be glass cannons, because I'm definitely a glass cannon. So we're not going to have a tank. So I was like, okay, I'm going to True Polymorph myself into a giant devil or a giant demon, like a CR 16, like a giant or something, you know, like I'm going to True Polymorph myself into something like that, right? So those are the 2 9th level spells that I took. I'm really excited to play her. I'm really excited to get to know all the other characters and stuff. And it is a one-shot, so it's not like that big of a deal, but I'm super excited to play a wizard. I've never played wizards before, and I've never played high level before. So I'm super duper excited to be able to do all of that. Thanks to my friend Christian. It will be live this Wednesday on Twitch. I will leave a link in the doobly-doo down below. But if you do not do Twitch and you want to do a podcast version, I will also leave a link down below to his podcast site on Spotify so that you can see all of the things that we have done. All right, now that announcements are taken care of, let's get into the story that is probably not only one of my favorite D&D stories ever, but is specifically one of my favorite D&D stories with the people that I have played D&D with the longest and completed my first campaign with. So you see, every birthday, my birthday, I do a one shot. I do a one shot where we play silly characters and have a silly old time, and it's just a grand old time, right? And so I did a one shot where they had to successfully get a Behair egg. And the way that they were going to get a Behair egg is that they had to travel up into these mountain snow caps and into this iceberg. Like it was essentially an iceberg, and these badlands essentially, and they had to go travel into these badlands and get this egg. And so the people that they decided to recruit to go do this job were people who wanted time off of their sentencing, because they were all serving sentencing for some reason. And that's how I presented the characters to them. I was like, why is your character in jail? What did your character do to receive a sentence of jail time? And so we had some wild characters. We had some really fun characters. The one that I remember the most was Clay's character, because Clay's character worshipped a gator god, like a gator god, and was like a swamp person. It was very fun. They also played one of my my own homebrew Eoto people that I made, one of my own homebrew races, which was really, really cool. And so yeah, we had so much fun. They went to the iceberg. They traveled out to the iceberg. They all have like a collar on them that basically explodes if they go out of the whack and go too far, and they have a scrying orb following them the entire time and all this stuff. And essentially they go all the way to this camp, this like area that like is known for having outlaws, is known for being a place that illegal people who are trying to run from the law run to, because it's outside the territory of any real city, of any real place. And it's a badlands. It's not really a place where the government really goes. The government's like, all right, you do whatever you want in this area. So they end up reaching this campsite, right? And it's old ruins. It's these old ruins, okay? And my friends are so fun, and we're all having a great time, and it's my birthday, we're celebrating. It's a lot of fun. So they go to these campsites, right? They go to this campsite, and like people are like trying to steal their stuff. People, you can't really sleep. You have to sleep in shifts because, you could get like robbed or killed or anything like that. It's really a scary area. And one of my players goes and just starts walking around. They just start exploring. And I'm like, I don't know why you would be exploring this, but go ahead and explore. So they start exploring, and they go into this back room, and the back room is completely black. Well, here's the thing. I had made the map for this. I had made the map for this outpost, but I didn't populate it completely. I didn't populate it completely. So whenever they went to this back room, there was actually nothing in that back room. And we're all friends, and we're all just joking around. So I tell them that the lights are off. And so they say, well, I have dark vision. I'm like, okay, well, what you see with your dark vision is an orc, an elf, a satyr, and I forgot what the last one was, but it was 4 people having an orgy. That's what you see whenever you open the door. It's 4 people having an orgy, and everyone laughs. Everyone laughs, whatever. And my friend is like, can I join the orgy? And I'm like, sure, you can try to join the orgy, but I don't know what you would want to do with this orgy. I don't know why you would want to be in this orgy. And they're like, because it's fun, because it's silly. And I'm like, cool. Sure, yeah, join you roll to see if you join the orgy. Okay. And so my friend rolls to see if she joins the orgy, and she rolls a nat 20. She rolls a nat 20, and the whole table freaks out. The whole table is like, ah, like walking away from the table. Like it was so much fun. Everyone freaks out, and I'm like, All right, yeah, you join the orgy, man. You okay, sure. And then I proceeded to describe, which I can't do on YouTube, but I proceeded to describe the joining of the orgy. And it was so funny because everyone was giggling and I was embarrassed as shit. And it was so funny. We were having such a fun time. And so basically then what happened was the other player characters were like, well, I want to go looking for her. I want to go looking for her. And now I was like, oh my God, are we all going to join the orgy? And so they wander into the back room and they see her doing the orgy. And it was one of those moments where the role play was so funny because she was like, what? I can do this if I want. What's wrong? And so yeah, they ended up having to change how the shifts of they ended up changing how the shifts of their watches worked because she wasn't there to do a shift because she was in an orgy. And then I asked her, I was like, okay, roll constitution check, roll a constitution saving throw. And she failed her constitution saving throw, so she had a point of exhaustion while they were fighting a bear. She had a point of exhaustion. It was so funny, and it's like one of my greatest memories. And honestly, I have so many great memories with these players in particular, and I'm really gonna miss playing with them whenever I move. Like honestly, they're my friends outside of D&D too, of course, yeah, but like I have never had players that are so in touch with my world and in touch with my brain and in touch with what's going on inside of the game. Most of the time whenever I have people playing my game, it's very okay, what's next? Okay, what's next? Okay, what's next? These people like actually ask me about artwork on the walls, and like whenever there was like a part where they were on the moon, and while they were on the moon there was like this piece of artwork that was rusted. It was made out of metal, and there were rust monsters in the area, so the rust monsters ate the metal. And they actually problem solved to use mending to fix the rusted artwork, the metal artwork, so that they could see and appreciate the artwork that I put on the walls. Like just getting that kind of like love and care for your game is really, really rare and really, really amazing. I really wish these kind of people on everyone, because not only were they super attentive with fighting and combat and cared about combat and well, I think part of that was because I made combat life or death. I made every combat life or death. And I think that made them care a lot more because they didn't want to lose their characters, because they cared so much about their characters and they cared so much about the world and they cared so much about the growth and the change and the passage of time. And it was just so beautiful. It was so beautiful to have people at my table who really cared about what I had to say and what I had to do and what I had to put out. And in every single aspect, from the smallest detail to the biggest story arc, they were there, face first in my stuff, and reactive, and I really, really feel like that's special. I feel like that's very special. I guess this just turned into reminiscing. I guess this just turned into reminiscing. But honestly, I will miss these people. I will miss them a lot. And I hope that all of them find amazing tables and find people that they get to play with that are just as fun. And I hope I get to play another table like this. Honestly, I could play this table for the rest of my life, but I hope I get to play another table like this. I hope I get to play with people who run face first into my game with every single intent to breathe in the air and smell the smells and hear the sounds like they were there. Like that's just so beautiful. And it's like that story that I told about the orgy, that was after we had been playing for like a year. And so we knew each other, but I really wasn't aware of how invested everyone was until we got really, really into the thick of the game. And then it was so obvious how invested they were. And it just makes me so happy. It just makes me smile. It makes me think that, there is a possibility that I can find more players like this, and I can find people who will run face first into my game, and it's beautiful. So yeah, that is my story. That is one of my favorite stories from this table, and honestly, I'm gonna really miss this table. I think this is important to document. I think it's important to document how much a good table can change your entire attitude towards DMing and change your entire attitude towards creating and making a table, I feel like so many of us run into like subpar or inadequate or like bad, just honestly bad tables, and it makes us just want to give up. And you don't have to give up. They do exist. People like this do exist. Sometimes you have to curate it. Sometimes you do have to curate your space. But honestly, people like this do exist. And I hope that everyone finds a table like this. I have no idea what I'm saying anymore. I just really forgot how much fun I had with these people. So yeah, that's gonna do it for me. I really hope that you check out the live stream, and I really hope that you check out the Christian stuff in the doobly-doo down below. I appreciate you all for being here. I love you oh so much. You are always welcome at my table, and I will see you in the next video with hopefully more of a purpose. Yes.